all frucked up, day 61. This one was a video that just refused to upload, and I had an event that I needed to get to, so I left the hotel, went to the event, and the video that I had recorded seemingly winked out of existence, so I'm re-recording this, and it's like, I don't know, 5 in the morning Vegas time. In any case, what I wanted to talk about was, yes, this is still very much a high carbohydrate diet that I'm following. It's just not the sugar diet as put forth by Cole Robinson and Mark Bell and others. I found my results through starch, which, were supposedly, off limits on the sugar diet because it would cause such slow results. And I'll take slow results over no results, and I'll definitely take slow results over the insistence that I had on dietary fructose that just cramped me up, bloated me up. I've covered this in other videos, but starch was the answer for me. So it was the thought that, if I quit, this is my apex moment. I'm not going to get any better. I'm just going to stay at this personal fat threshold, and that was unacceptable to me. So it's like, well, if I'm vetting out the efficacy of a low-fat diet and the fruit is not my friend, then I need to consume foods that I like and also like me back, in the words of Durian Ryder. So the only logical conclusion I could come to was to do a lot of starch. And it's funny that a lot should probably be in air quotes, because it seemed like I was consuming less and less food on the day as the scale dropped. And it wasn't a diet. It has not been a diet of deprivation. It's just been eating quantities of food that actually produce satiety. So, maybe there was something fucked up with like the leptin and the ghrelin, however you want to pronounce it, the hormones that indicate hunger and then also indicate satiety. Because, weeks into it, when I finally switched over to starch, I found myself just on autopilot, basically. And when I'd had enough food, I would just set the bowl or the plate to the side and I was done. So that was a pretty cool thing to discover. It's like, I'm not counting calories. I'm not just insisting on hammering the quantities of fruit, like I must drink so many glasses of juice or so many smoothies, or I must ingest, X number of calories. It's like, no, I just focused on one parameter, and that was keeping the dietary fat out of my diet. And everything else just kind of took care of itself. So when Cole Robinson is talking about, you got to saddle up for X number of days, however many days it takes. Yeah, there's value in that. I feel like there's value in that. There's probably a lot that Cole and I would disagree on, but that doesn't matter, I'm not one to yell and call names, not at this stage in my life, in any case. So yeah, I think with a more gentle approach, dare I say a more loving approach, and that includes loving myself. And much like Nathaniel Branden said or wrote in the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, to be able to stand, naked in front of the mirror and fully accept the person that's being reflected back, that's a big step. And then, consciously you can still make changes. You can still improve upon that mirror feedback, but do it from a place of acceptance. Like, I accept where I'm at. I understand that this reflection of mine is the product of previous choices. choices I've made in the past that are now being reflected back to me in the now present moment. And eventually, if I make good choices now, I'll be looking at a future version of myself that has responded to the decisions and the dietary choices that I've made today. And so being patient with oneself, accepting of oneself, and then definitely, focusing on that new decision. And it doesn't have to be complex. We don't need to, make a bunch of changes all at once, because I haven't significantly altered my activity level. I know in the past, as the weight dropped off, as I reduced my body fat mass, I wanted to move more. So there's that. And then also, so many people, especially around the first of the year, they join a gym and they take their weight and they do a bunch of working out, and then they get on the scale and they're immediately discouraged because their muscles are holding potentially more water. Basically, they're doing the work in the gym and then expecting to drop the fat. And initially, you're probably going to see an uptick on the scale, and you're growing your muscles, if anything. So, yeah, the point is to not get discouraged. Have a plan, keep it simple, and I like the simplicity of just monitoring one parameter, and that is the dietary fat grams. So keep the dietary fat grams low. Don't binge eat. Ask yourself questions of, like, what would a healthy person do? And then do those things. So if the one parameter is keeping the dietary fat grams low, then do that, and do that consistently, and love the process, or at least don't put a bunch of emphasis on the process. Just relax into it. It's like, okay, I'm going to the store today, and the things that I pick out need to be low in dietary fat. I need to check the nutrition label. I need to look and see, like, how many servings times how many grams of fat. And then, load up your shopping cart and you can check out with a smile on your face. And then you've got food choices, and it doesn't matter what you grab. It's like it's all low fat. So, and the same logic, the same approach would apply if you were doing like a ketogenic diet. I think ultimately a ketogenic diet results in low thyroid function, lack of glucose tolerance, and I think you'd have to do a significant amount of fasting or calorie counting, and it's like, that just, it's like having homework every day, right? I'd rather focus on one thing, keeping the dietary fat grams low, and that makes shopping for groceries pretty easy. And then if you're hungry, eat. It's kind of like on the YouTube channel Sugar is Life. So Zach over there on Sugar is Life, that YouTube channel, he's like, your body's got to feel safe. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, And you're not going to have your body feeling safe when it's like, man, I'm barely getting any food. It's just like this constant anxiety that works against us. So, yeah, my approach has been pretty simple. Keep the dietary fat grams low, and I know I'm beating that to death. I'm being very repetitive in this video, but that's been my road to success. And now that I'm in the 250s, then the next thing's the 240s, and I spent a lot of time in the 240s over 2024. And it's like, I'm going to blast right past that. And the decision is already made. I'm not stopping. I'm going to find out what my ideal body fat, I'm going to find out what my ideal weight is. because my target is to get as lean as I did when I was doing all the intermittent fasting and eating low carb. This time I'm just doing it with a different approach. So, yeah, just focus on the simple things. Be kind to yourself, but don't slack off. Like, no, I made this decision. This is what I'm doing. And, be mindful of that word, but. Well, I would have eaten low fat today, but. No, don't go down that road. Because as soon as you allow yourself to lower your standard, that's the new standard. As soon as you slack off, you're going to be upset with yourself, and then that just turns into like self-loathing, and it's just this spiral of negative thoughts and negative self-talk. So don't do that to yourself. It's just like, okay, if a bunch of other people have been able to go low fat and high carb, then if they can do that, I can do that too, because we're all human. And I have a little bit of resistance to the, everybody's different. Well, everybody's in a different state of current health. But on the physiological level, how our bodies function, we're really not that different. And to bring in some of the other more spiritual or metaphysical information, it's like our thoughts have as much impact on our destiny as concrete actions do. So take each day 1 hour at a time if you need to, and be mindful of your thoughts. Are you getting down on yourself? Did you give in to temptation, because of family, because of being at the office and there being food available? And, if the temptation was too great, if your current emotions in that moment were greater than your vision of your future goal, and you caved, like, okay, but then just don't get stuck there, Don't get stuck there. Just, okay, like, I made this decision. It's, in hindsight, like, not the best decision that I could have made. What are you going to do? Are you just going to stop? If you stop, then what, right? Then where are you going? So you have to allow yourself a little bit of grace, a little bit of, not that I'm encouraging people to, cave in or give in to temptation, but I'm also aware that we're fallible humans. We are all fallible humans, and things happen and things come up, and we have emotional reasons for eating, and we have, the permutations of human thought and why we do things is fascinating to me. But like, don't get stuck in that, oh man, I fucked up, Okay, so what? You're just going to let that define you? Like, no, get back on the horse, saddle back up, as Cole Robinson would say. But just trust the process. Focus on the most simplistic model that still gets you the results, and then just adhere to that day in, day out, and find what's sustainable. So with that, I will wrap this video up. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a happy 4th. See ya.